Crimes and upheavals that shook the world. 2025 Segment 1. Northern Nigeria. Explosions, insurgency in U.S. Airstrikes. Northern Nigeria. A land where markets, mosques, and villages became frontlines in a prolonged battle against terror. But as 2025 waned, the conflict widened even further. In June, a female suicide bomber detonated at a crowded fish market near Maiduguri, killing civilians and injuring dozens, a grim reminder of Boko Haram-linked terror still haunting the region. In late December, a bomb exploded at the Al-Adhan Mosque in Maiduguri during evening prayers, killing worshippers and injuring more, another brutal chapter in the ongoing insurgency. On December 25 to 26, 2025, the United States launched coordinated airstrikes on Islamic State-linked camps in Sokoto State in northwest Nigeria, firing 16 GPS-guided munitions using MQ-9 Reaper drones and naval assets to target foreign ISIS fighters attempting to infiltrate from the Sahel. The operation was conducted with the approval and intelligence support of the Nigerian government, and while officials reported no confirmed civilian deaths, debris from the strikes fell in surrounding towns, rattling residents and raising concern over the scope of foreign military intervention in Nigerian soil. Segment 2. Mass kidnappings and gang violence in Nigeria, but terror was not limited to explosions, it was people vanishing into fear. In a harrowing mid-year raid, armed gunmen abducted over 130 schoolchildren and teachers from a Catholic school in Niger State. After weeks of negotiations, most captives were freed, a chilling echo of past kidnappings and a national trauma that reverberated across the country. Segment 3. Banabango attack. Jihadist assault in Niger. In the broader Sahel, militant violence didn't stay confined within borders. On June 19, jihadist fighters linked to the Islamic State, Sahel province overran army positions at Banabango in Niger, killing dozens of soldiers and briefly holding the town, a stark projection of extremist reach across West Africa. Segment 4. Mali War. Persistent clashes. In Mali, warfare stretched into another punishing season. Throughout May and June, militant groups launched coordinated assaults on military bases, inflicting casualties and deepening the war that has ravaged communities for years. A nation weary of war, guns trading fire through the night. Segment 5. Kinshasa riots. Protest carnage in DRC, in the heart of Central Africa, rage boiled into violence. Angry crowds in Kinshasa rioted over rebel gains in the east, burning foreign embassies, clashing with riot police, and turning the capital's streets into turbulence and chaos. Segment 6. Bukavu offensive. Rebels take a city. Warfare was no longer confined to bush fighting. The M23 rebel group launched a decisive offensive in eastern DR Congo, capturing Bukavu, displacing thousands, and redrawing the conflict map in one of Africa's bloodiest theaters. Segment 7. Myanmar bombings and civil war. In Southeast Asia, the price of power was paid with civilian blood. Myanmar's junta bombed a Buddhist candlelight festival, killing and injuring dozens, as civil war continued to tear apart communities, destroy homes, and crush dissent. Segment 8. Guinea-Bissau. Coup d'etat. Democracy became fragile in West Africa. On November 26, military officers seized power in Guinea-Bissau, arresting the president just before election results were announced, the latest in a series of coups reshaping regional politics. Segment 9. Armenia coup allegations. In the Caucasus, crisis fermented behind closed doors. Authorities in Armenia arrested opposition leaders and senior clerics accused of plotting a coup, exposing deep political fractures and tensions under the surface of governance. Segment 10. Sudan's civil war. A humanitarian catastrophe, one of Africa's deadliest conflicts raged without cease. Sudan's civil war between rival armed factions continued to inflict massive civilian suffering, millions displaced, cities shelled, and human rights abuses rampant across the nation. Segment 11. Haiti. Gang rule and embassy clashes. In Haiti, lawlessness became the government. Port-au-Prince saw armed gangs dominate the capital, with shootouts near the U.S. Embassy, kidnappings, and territorial control that outpaced any central authority. Segment 12. Middle Eastern tensions and proxy wars. From the Levant to Eastern Europe, conflict flared across geopolitical fault lines. Clashes and bombardments continued in proxy theaters, including Israel-Iran tensions, Russian strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure during winter months, and waves of regional instability drawing international concern. Segment 13. Nepal Uprising. Kathmandu streets. Nepal, a nation known for its mountains and temples, became a battleground of voices. What began as anger over corruption and broken promises transformed into a mass uprising. Security forces advance. Protesters refuse to retreat. A stone hits a shield. Chaos erupts. In these streets, fear collapsed, and defiance took its place. This was not a riot. It was a demand for dignity, accountability, and change. Reflections on 2025. 2025 wasn't just another year on the calendar. It was a testament to how fragile peace can be, how quickly violence spreads, and how crises, big and small, reshape the world. From the streets of Kinshasa to the skies over Nigeria, from coups in West Africa to revolts in Asia, the global stage was scarred by turmoil, loss, and upheaval. History remembers the smoke, the shock, and the sorrow, but it also remembers those who stood in its aftermath.